Thank you very much, Des, and despite that overcast sky, a very big crowd for this local derby. We have the glamour side of Rugby League Wigan and the near neighbours geographically, Leigh. Leigh, of course, currently the leaders of the second division, and although they may be the underdogs and Wigan are the evens favourites, Leigh are very confident. They've just got one problem there in the centre. Bob Hanson coming in there at number 4 for the injured Steve Helliwell, but the confidence is sky high after that third round win at Widnes last Saturday, and it was those two props, Gelling and Pike. They were the lads who did the damage. But Wigan at full strength at last. The hooker Nicky Kiss, after an ankle injury, he returns, and the youngster Martin Dermott, who deputised so well last week, he's been given that substitute spot, and I'm sure that that wing pairing of Hanley and Gill, they're going to give Des Drummond some trouble, as we heard earlier. But Steve Ella there, all the way from Parramatta in Sydney, the joint top try scorer, 16 tries to his credit, tremendous pace and acceleration. Nobody can take their eyes off him. And this is the little man from the Oldham St Anne's Club, one of the Barlet amateur sides. He does all the donkey work for Ella, the passes, the movements. A marvellous combination these two lads are making. But one man they've got to watch, and this boy John Henderson. Great Britain coach Maurice Bamford has come along here, and certainly he's going to be one to watch. And this man, Ray Taban, he's the one to get them the ball. So Wigan then to receive the ball in an unfamiliar colour of the blue and white hoops. Of course, Leigh also normally playing cherry and white hoops, and they were the first out of the draw, so they had the right of the shirts. And already this big crowd getting behind some very, very strong tackling. Well, Alec, you were the Leigh coach up to 3 or 4 weeks ago. Do you fancy them?
Well, they're a very, very good side, and it's amazing, Ray, that now they've got to a semi-final. People are given to say, well, they are a good side. They can win from any position of the field, and I think you'll find some exciting rugby played by both sides today.
Oh, Leigh already moving that ball out. Jeff Cottrell, local lad from the Leigh Miners Club. To Clark. A little bit more far away, distant places, this lad Jeff Clark from the Northcote Tigers Club in Auckland. Leigh then moving the ball about to Wester. Not so very long ago since this young lad number 3 was unheard of, but already this boy John Henderson, the league's equal leading top try scorer with 16. The first scrum of the game. Ford to put the ball in. Oh, well done. Neat piece of work by Derek Pike. Pike going through. Leigh, strong attack. Good ball. Oh, that's a very, very good ball, and he's going in for a try. No, not quite. Just missed it. Superb tackle. Look to try. We mentioned the threat of this boy, John Henderson. His pace, his power. Just tackled in too short, but what a start to this match.
Well, this is why they're not a second division side. They may be playing in the second division, but just watch this for pace. This is John Henderson, sheer class, sheer pace. Takes Henderson Gill, 2 world-class players out there, and it takes a desperation tackle from Ellery Hanley.
And it was a desperation tackle. Let off for Wigan there. To Ella. Whitfield well policed there by Phil Fox. Back to Ella. Wigan, I think, employing the same tactics that they used last Saturday against Warrington, penning the opposition deep down in this 25-yard area, then relying on this very strong pack defensively to tackle them. Tabb. Oh, good ball from Pike. Westhead. Out to Drummond. This is good stuff. Wingman coming inside. To Henderson. Well, it's no wonder that Leigh have won 11 matches on the trot with this sort of play. Pike again. To Clark. Oh, well, that was a good tackle. Excellent tackle from Wigan skipper Andy Goodway. strike again. And he's lost it. Unfortunate knock on there from prop Brian Gelling. Used to playing on this ground, used to playing for the St Helens club. And that's a good scrum from Kiss. Ella looking for support from Hanley. Leigh full-back Chris Johnson, seeing the gap there, came in, filled it. This Wigan side, of course, are the evens favourites with the bookmakers to take this John Player Special Trophy. Leigh 10-1 outsiders. Wigan playing from left to right, driving hard. Oh, well taken by Johnson. Leigh in possession on their own line. Oh, it's a knockout. Bad ball there to drop from Trevor Cogger. This Leigh scrum half. But it's Michael Ford. And the third scrum for Wigan. To Ella. Good long ball, Hanson in the line. He's got Gill with him. Wigan still on the attack. Very strong lad, this Henderson goal. 3 yards from the Leigh line. Kiss to Dutoit, but that's a superb tackle from John Westhead. Ella moving the ball out wide. Well, it looked an offside there. And he's given it. Yes, referee Fred Lindop. Obvious offside decision there. Ellery Hanley kicking the ball from the knock-on of David Stevenson. So a let-off here for Leigh. Leigh, of course, have never played in a final. They've gone out at this semi-final stage in their previous 2 appearances. To Gelling.
One thing about this game, Ray, at the moment is that the way that Leigh are actually taking Wigan on at every opportunity again, they're moving the ball out wide, and the forwards look as though they want to say, well, we're in the semi-final also, but Wigan being restricted to 1 or 2 flurries.
Yes, and I think it's these 2 props for Leigh, Brian Gelling and Derek Pike, who's doing a lot of the damage, driving down the middle and then slipping the ball. But Wigan in possession again. To Ella. To Hanley. Got 2-1. Drummond outside him. Good tackle. Well, there was a lot of banter and joking between those 2 lads. I don't think they'll be joking now, although Gill looks happy enough. Phil Johnson to put the ball in, but Leigh get a kick. Differential penalty. To Clark. It's been a huge success for Leigh, this lad Trevor Clark, since he came from Auckland. Pike, good ball to Westhead.
This Derek Pike, Ray, and Brian Gelling, the boys got the ball now, do a tremendous amount of work for Leigh. They're the people who are driving the ball in, and number 10 now is going to receive it, Derek Pike. He'll be the one who'll move the ball out wide.
To Tappert. Cottrell. Henderson again, what a dangerous lad this is. And offside. referee Fred Lindop, very experienced referee from Wakefield, on the spot there. Already got 3 of these young player finals to his credit. And worth a chance, yes, going for goal. I think it's well worth a chance, although it is a long one, Alec, isn't it?
Well, yes, and he's quite capable of kicking this way. It's about 30 yards, and this lad was a goal kicker. He's only just started this season, and he's kicked 60-odd points. He's very capable of reaching this goal.
Yes, 67 goals already, this lad. Again, another amateur product from rather exotic-sounding club, the Boilermakers Arms. No, just fades to the right of the post. Hanson picking there. Well, that was silly. Very, very silly from Cottrell. No need for that. The tackle had been made. He grins to himself, but in all honesty, I think he should realise that he's costly. Positional advantage there. And Fred Lindop just saying no more. So from being on their own line, Wigan, they move almost to the halfway. Ten minutes gone, still no score between these two sides. Wigan doing the pressing here now. Unfamiliar colours for Wigan in the blue and white hoops on the left of our screens. To Dowling. Nicky Kiss. Oh, back to Dowling. Good combination play there. Just couldn't get the ball away to the scrum half, Michael Ford. It looks to be being played in a very good spirit, this match. There's enough laughter going on out there, Alan.
Well, there might be some laughter, but I think deep down inside there, there's a little bit of hatred as well. Just looking at the Leigh side and the Wigan side, it's amazing now that the Leigh have worked on the lining. Every time Wigan have the ball, Leigh move up in a line, and it's very noticeable, this, because they do work very hard on set plays.
And a penalty there, yes. Referee Lindop indicating that the front row getting the ball out with the hand rather than the foot. Differential penalty. Potter. Dutois. This big, strong South African second row. David Stevenson. Sean Wayne. Certainly this Leigh tackling very, very sharp, coming up very, very quick. To Ford. Well, play on, yes, to Ella, and that's his advantage, and he's in. How many times have we seen this man, Steve Ella, picks up the opportunity, a drop ball, a loose ball, he's sharp, 5 yards from the line, and he's in. That's the hallmark of a class player, and appreciated by that big section of the Wigan crowd. Not for nothing did Wigan pay a king's ransom for this man to come from the Parramatta club in Sydney. And he's most dangerous when the ball's bobbing about in loose play.
Well, this is why they paid £50,000 for this fella. A little bit of luck here, but as the Wigan drive the ball in here, it just flattens on the floor, comes off a Leigh man, but just watch Elliott, he needs scoring. The zip man they call him, he's a good player, and this is what Wigan wanted, a try early on.
And Stevenson presented with a comparatively simple kick. Pressed into the goal kicking this season, not a regular goal kicker throughout his career, but he's now at the top of the league with 70 goals. No problem. So Wigan 6, Leigh 0, and an early strike there from Steve Ella, but very, very typical of that man. And rather a shame, really, for Leigh there. Some very, very good opening play. Just that one slip of the ball, but with class players around like Wigan have, you can afford it. Forward, Dutois. He's certainly had a presence, this South African lad. I know he's tempted one or two more, like Ray Mort and Rob Lowe, to come over from South Africa, looking for employment with one or two of the professional clubs.
It'll be interesting now to see, Ray, what kind of a response we're going to have from Leigh, because one thing they can't afford to do is allow Wigan to dictate the game, because this fella Ella, they keep driving the ball and punching it down the field and making Leigh do all the work, because tackling is good in a cup tie.
Yes, we saw these tactics exactly the same as last Saturday afternoon against Wellington, Ali.
Yes, and Wigan realised for Leigh to score tries, they're going to have to go 60, 70 yards, and that's very unusual in cup ties.
Together. Oh, he's lost the ball. It's a good way. Gill. Dowling, Dutois. Good strong run again from this lad. Used to play centre when he was out in the Orange Free State in South Africa. Got that extra yard of pace as a second row. And I think this is a crucial stage for Leigh here. Wigan cock a hoop, 6 points up. Throwing the ball about now. Gay abandon. One or two of the crowd are appealing for the trip, but I think it was more of a fall over Drummond's leg. Wigan, though, still maintaining pressure on this Leigh line. Oh, Wigan again in possession. Vital forward. Potter. To Hanley. He's strong, this lad. Half a chance. Usually takes a couple of men to put Ellery Hanley down. Stevenson. Pressured on this Leigh line now. Oh, good crashing run, and he's in. Greg Dowling straight through the despairing tackle of Ray Tavern. I said this was a crucial time for Leigh. To hold this Wigan side, the star-studded with glamour players from all over the world, just like this man Greg Dowling from Brisbane in Australia. They couldn't hold him, and 10 points to nil already.
And this is the Australian double X here. Ella again, a beautiful ball to Greg Dowling. Big man, his weight and his power just takes him over.
So another straightforward kick for Stevenson. Been a huge success, this lad David Stevens, since he signed from the Fylde Rugby Union club and moved to Salford and then was transferred for £60,000 to Wigan, but he certainly repaid that money back for Wigan. And there's another part of that repayment. 12 points to nil now for Wigan. And Leigh certainly got a lot of work on, Alec.
Yes, and that could be a real body blow for Leigh. What we need now is a little bit of inspiration, and people like Derek Pike and Jeff Clark have got to lift these people, the Leigh side, because you cannot afford to let Wigan just dictate the play, because they'll just run all over you.
Dutois. Good tackle from Ray Tavern. Sean Wayne, these Wigan forwards relentlessly driving down to the pavilion end at the right hand of our screens here to Chris Johnson. And I think Leigh certainly need some points to pull themselves back in this game. This lad, Nick Dutois, is very lively already, Alec.
He's not only lively, he's a very, very big man, Ray, and just looking at Wigan now, they look as though they've stepped the game up a gear, and Leigh, who've probably not been in this situation before, are finding it a little bit strange.
Yes, the Leigh are top of the second division. They have won 11 games on the trot, but you've got to move up a few notches when you come with the big boys in the first division. No, too many knock-ons. Referee Fred Lindop looking to allow play on, looking for the Leigh side to get the ball for the advantage, but there was none. And I think collapse, no, put up. By Nicky Kiss, the Wigan hooker. So Phil Johnson to put the touch. Leigh looking to get the ball moving out. They've scored 98 tries in their three-quarter line this season, so there's certainly no shortage of try-scoring ability out there, but just getting that ball out there. 20 minutes gone still. Wigan 12, Leigh 0. It's a fight. Oh, good ball out to Cogger. Yes, he's got the gap. Kept it going to Johnson. Oh, well run onto it by Wester. What a knockout. Unfortunate there for that number 4, Bob Henson, lad from Auckland. He just overran the ball in a knockout.
I think if Leigh are going to stay in the game, Ray, what they've got to do is keep the ball moving among the three-quarter line, because they have got tremendous pace there, and this is what they'll have to rely on, because I think one or two of the Leigh forwards, especially number 11 on the Leigh side, Tony Cottrell, he finds it very difficult. He's a 40-minute player because he's not in the twilight of his years, but he's not far off it, and he's finding it hard to adjust to this pace.
To Dowling. I like the way this prop Greg Dowling, although he drives in, he always tries to get the ball away, tries to offload it. No. Another knock on against Leigh. Things not quite going their way, and I think it's significant that the scrums already are 4-1 to Wigan. That's not any disparity between the hookers, it's just that Leigh have been committing the offences, and Kiss has had his own head and ball. And there should have been another one. The youngster Ford is obstructed. Oh, that's a good kick. Good driving kick from David Stevenson. Wigan using 2 of their 6 tackles to drive in from the first receiver, bring the Leigh pack into the middle. To Dowling. Wayne again. Derek Pike, Leigh number 10, in the right place at the right time. And Des Drummond very sensibly there, knew that his forwards hadn't got back, taking it to the blind side from the acting half-back position. But Leigh having problems getting away from this line, Alec.
Yes, maybe the extra weight will tell also, Ray, because the Wigan pack just look as though they're a stone a man heavier. And when you've played in cup competitions as long as Wigan have, you learn and get a lot of experience to it. A lot of these Leigh lads are only young boys. Well taken by Steve Hampson.
recovered very, very well from his broken leg of last season, that boy. Forward. Wigan still driving this ball in very, very hard at first receiver, but the sixth tackle coming up now. They should be doing something else. An attempted drop. No. Well, it was worth an attempt. If that score had gone out to 13, it would have meant Leigh having to score 3 times. But it's still very early days, and 12 points to 0 is not necessarily a winning score. This Leigh have tremendous talent, tremendous ability. Together.
I think Leigh now needs Ray, just somebody to take the game by the scruff of the neck and said 12-0 is nothing in this game. What they can score, we can score. And as long as we keep competing, I think Leigh will be in it till the end. They've just not got to give silly tries away, which they really have done early on in the game.
Cottrell. 15 minutes to go in his first half, and Leigh do need a score. They're getting a little bit bogged down, I think, in the centre of this field. I was on the pitch this morning. It was very heavy, and the ground staff were sanding the pitch. And another occasion of Michael Ford putting the ball in. Back to Kiss. Oh, nicely played to Hanley. But an equally good tackle there. Stevenson. Ella. Ella again. Oh, that's a good chip kick. No. Nevertheless, that kick there puts the pressure on Leigh. To Wesley. Well, that's one immovable object meeting another.
I think the difference in all ways is the boy of 19, John Weston, who just runs into 2 men probably 3 times as what the size he is. And surely a man of that size doesn't want to be doing that, because Leigh now have got to start running with this ball, supporting the man with the ball, and moving it out wide.
Yes, Alex, certainly this Wigan pack is a very big pack, very strong pack, isn't it, physically?
Yes, and when you have people like Ella and he's dictating all the game, you've got to be very worried. But Leigh can do this kind of game if they just start throwing the ball about.
To Johnson. Yes, and a penalty. Henderson Gill looks a little disconsolate, but referee Fred Lindhoff judged that someone interfered with Johnson when he kicked the ball. And that's a good kick from Johnson. Crowd now trying to get behind this Leigh side. 12 points to 0 down. Leigh in their normal jerseys, red and white hoops coming from right to left, and Wigan, of course, in a strange looking colour of blue and white there, playing from the left of the screen. Pike to Johnson. Oh, that was a pity. Every time Leigh mounts something on it, it's a lost ball, isn't it?
Yes, it seems to be individual play instead of team play. They're not supporting the man like they can do, and of course you just can't keep afford to be dropping the ball like they are against a team like Wigan. They do the basics right, and that's what Leigh's got to start doing. You've got to hold the ball for 6 tackles.
A lot of good hard tackling in the forwards here. To win. Nicky Kiss looking for an opening there. He felt that the two forwards from the either side of the acting half-back had gone up a little quick. He thought there was a gap, but there wasn't. But there is a gap to Whitfield. And offside. Referee Fred Lindop there adjudging that Steve Aller was within 5 yards of Pike when he dropped on that ball. You can't encroach within 5 yards if you're in front of the kicker. To Gelly. Clark. Certainly these Leigh lads are running hard enough at it, but I think it's as you say, there's about a stone a man difference in the pack.
Yes, and also, Ray, when they get the ball, they're not running into the gap, they're running straight at the man, and I'm afraid they've got to run through this gap and have men supporting them, especially if they're going to get back into the game.
Nice to see Des Drummond there, coming in off the right wing, trying to get into the play, still in the play. Fiery little customer, this lad, scored 3 tries last week in the 3rd round with Widnes. To Cogger. That's a good one, and superbly taken by Steve Hampson. It was a good kick, but an even better take from this young full-back. To Gill, having a go on his own. Forward, Dowling. That's a good ball to Dutois. Potter. Oh, just a little unlucky there for Phil Johnson. Saw the opportunity, but just couldn't quite take the pass. And once again, we see Michael Ford putting the ball in with his own head. But he's lost it. Good strike against the head there from Ray Cameron. Calgary just didn't have the pace to go round Ella. Clark. Well, he's using a lot of energy up this lad, Trevor Clark, Alec, but it's as you say, he's not really getting anywhere, is he?
No, he's got pace as well. I think he's got to be one who's got to start breaking and running through these gaps. He's tending to take the big men on, and you know, there's no way that Detroit will run away from things like that.
Oh, Johnson's got a break. He's gone for the line. Hampson to beat, and he's in. Yes. Well, he just missed that knock-on seconds earlier, and look at that youngster. He's delighted. Leigh are back in this game. And it's Phil Johnson, this ex-Leigh coach, who's put him back in the game. Wonderful piece of opportunist play. He saw the gap, and he had the speed to go round Hampson. 12 points to 4 now for Wigan.
And this is a good try, just when it was needed. A chunky little lad this, it needed some scoring. He's a strong little boy, and as Hampson goes over, he just gets the ball down. And here we have the ball again. He's got the ball in. He just thinks, I'm going to check off one foot straight to the other. That's how strong he is. He's only a little lad, but he's a strong little lad. He makes his mind up. I'm going to score here, and who's going to stop me? And nobody does.
Yes, and there's a lot of determination in that little lad's run there. He didn't just have to have the pace, he had to have the strength to break that Hampson tackle. And from Johnson, oh, he's missed it. Well, you can't afford missed kicks like that in the semi-final. Big difference there now, 12 points to 4 when it should have been 12-6. And I think the lad knows it. But nevertheless, I think that try now certainly bubbling up this game. Stevenson to kick off. To Drummond. Fresh life in this Leigh side now. talked about the scoring potential in this Leigh side. 54 tries in the three-quarter line. They've certainly played some spectacular rugby. In the first round, they beat Backley 70 points to 2, and second round, Hunslet 48-8, and then Widnes put 35 points on Widnes, and that's some scoring. Pike. Well, nice to see them backing up, keeping it going. Swat, Ella, this is dangerous to Stevens. David Stevenson trying to get the ball away, but I think he was a little bit too eager. I think I would have kept hold of the ball there, Alec.
Yes, and I think that could have been ladder. He's not very happy with that. He'll be going back to himself. Why did I pass that? He was right on the line, the first tackle, and I think some of his mates will have a few words with him when he gets in.
Or a respite for Leigh. Lost the ball again. Five minutes to go. Wigan still pressing here now. In the lead, 12 points to 4. Potter. Well, he looks a fragile lad, this Steve Ella, but he's certainly strong in the tackle. Dowling. He's lost it. Oh, that could have been dangerous. Tony Cottrell looking to open the ball out wide to the right-hand side. Suddenly spotted those blue and white hoops of Wigan. To Pike. This ball's bobbing about from one side to the other, Alec.
Yes, and I think in Leigh's case, Ray, it's bad play. And one thing they must not do at this moment in time is concede another try, because this is the period where most sides like to go in and say, well, what we've got we hold. But if Wigan happens to score again now, Leigh would really be on the rocks.
There's good tackling stint needed from this Leigh pack. To Hanley. Gelling's missed him. Very elusive customer, this Ellery Hanley. Not only is he fast, but very, very strong up top. Sixth tackle. That's a good ball, dangerous ball. Johnson's missed it, and he's in. Greg Dowling. Opportunist try again. This is how we're going to pick the tries up. They've been on the spot at the right time. Johnson mistimed the ball, bounced off, and that brought forward Greg Dowling, his second of the match. Tremendous opportunity there for a man so big to get down so quickly, and remember, he had to be behind the kicker. Congratulations from Ellery Hanley. And as Alec was saying, that's a crucial try for Wigan. Nothing like going in at half-time with a try just before the half-time. Having a fine game, this man. Powerful 16-stone front row. Certainly presenting David Stevenson with a bag full of goals this afternoon to keep him at the top of the league leaders. No problem, straight between the posts. 18 points to 4 for Wigan now.
Well, just what Wigan didn't want. A beautiful kick from David Stevenson. Just look at the Wigan men in support. Chris Johnson could have gone higher for this ball. He took his eye of it and really was going the wrong way. But Dowling doesn't miss these, and he's on hand, and that's the try he wanted.
I think, if anything, Alec, Chris Johnson just slipped there as he went up.
Well, I think he slipped, but also, Ray, didn't have the amount of cover around him, to give him the kind of protection he needed. And when Wigan do things like this, they do it to perfection.
Wigan driving in here. Eller again, know that that half-time whistle is coming up. Sensibly again, pushing Leigh back downfield. One of the successes of this Wigan side this season, I think, has not only been the attacking play, but the defensive play. This pack of forwards certainly get through a stint of tackling, Ollie.
Yes, I think they work very hard at it, and they've had about 4 or 5 players injured, tackling the shields and the bags, so you can tell how serious they take it.
Sixth tackle coming up. Phil Johnson. Henderson Gill eager to get up to play the ball. Hanley. Plays it himself. Oh, good pass from Hanley to Ford. He's got Eller with him. Steve Eller looking to add to that try already, but he doesn't. I don't think he'd be too disappointed though. Half-time whistle, 18 points to 4 for Wigan, and all of the 3 tries from Eller and the 2 from Greg Dowling, well, Alec, they've just come really from opportunism, haven't they, close to the line?
Yes, and I think so, and you've got to say that Wigan have taken the chances and deserve to be in front 18 points to 4. I think Leigh have got to have a good talk to themselves and say we've not got to give Wigan the ball and we've got to go out and compete.
But there's certainly no denying this Leigh class, and I think although it's 18 points to 4, Leigh can certainly come back in this second half. Behind Des, but Wigan I don't think are in complete control, despite those tries from Dowling and this man from Eller, his 11th consecutive try, and he's well on the way to going for the legendary Leeds wingman Eric Harris's 17 consecutive tries. But I still think, Alec, that there's a lot of life in Leigh yet.
Oh yes, this 40 minutes play, and like I say, what Wigan can do, Leigh can do. The thing that Leigh have got to do now is concentrate on holding the ball for 6 tackles, hoping that there's more support play in the second half, and not allow Wigan to run with the ball as much.
Well, we'll see. Wigan's David Stevenson then to kick off here from right to left. And I think he'll be looking to put this ball deep, well, not quite deep enough, to Fox. Leigh will certainly be looking for an early try. Johnson to Clark. Good ball from Clark. This lad Henderson looks as if he can make the break, Alec.
Yeah, he's got tremendous pace, Ray, but the only problem is you've got to have running chances to do it, and obviously Wigan know about the lad, and they're not giving him any running chances.
Steve Hampson, I think, unable to give Gill the ball. He was in front of him. Dutoit. He certainly relishes this game of rugby league, this Nick Dutoit, since he came over from South Africa. Eller again. All well taken by Chris Johnson. But I think that sums up Wigan. Colin Whitfield up there very, very quickly, pegging Leigh back. And poor Derek Pike, the Leigh prop, running around in circles, not really being able to escape the clutches.
I think tactically, Ray, they're being outthought and outgunned in every department, because every time Steve Eller gets the ball, he keeps putting it down the field, knowing that Leigh have got to run a full 70-80 yards, and the way we're going to tackle him, there's no way that's going to happen.
Well, Leigh trying the same tactics. Well taken by Hampson again. To Gill. Oh, good driving run from Gill. He's got Hanley with him. Just couldn't get it away. Got a knock on referee Fred Lindop. Showing his fitness there. Fine turn of speed from Fred, right on the spot. Judges it to be a knock on. The Wigan section of the crowd, they don't like it, but I don't think that will bother referee Lindop. Leigh in possession then. Phil Johnson feeds the scrum.
I think this is a very good decision by Fred Lindop. Henderson Gill, he's got Ellard in support, he's got Henley on the inside, and it just touches Hanley as he goes through. It did touch him, and that makes it a knock-on.
Leigh bringing it away through the forwards. And I think this is one of the problems for Leigh, that they're absorbing 4 tackles with 3 and 4 forward drives and not really getting the yardage. Now here's a good chance. Derek Pike, he's got Wethead with him. Oh, good backing up there from Hansen. And again to Phil Fox. He's going for the line. Oh, tremendous effort from Phil Fox. Magnificent try. Yes, and he says, I've scored it. Phil Fox, his 16th try of the season, and he's 8 in these John Player rounds. And we said that there was still plenty of life left in this Leigh side, and there is. 18 points to 8 now. And that really is Fox's first touch of the ball, but he's just shown how dangerous he can be. But a tremendous pass from Derek Pike that put him there in the gap.
Tremendous play from Leigh, and this is the way to end your critic. Young John Weston here holds the ball here. A lovely ball, Robert Hampson in support, and Phil Fox here. Now this is probably the most underrated and the most underestimated player in the field. He's got one thing, he's got pace. That's Heller behind him, £50,000 worth, and makes it look easy.
Yes, he certainly stamped himself on this game now, and certainly brought Leigh back in. But he's left a very, very difficult kick for Chris Johnson. No. A good effort from Johnson, but not quite so. Still 18 points to 8 for Wigan. But I'm sure that will put fresh heart in these Leigh lads now. And I think that try has shown Leigh what to do. The ball's got to get out wide there, certainly in that three-quarter line, with Drummond and Fox on the wings and Henderson and Henson in the centre. Some devastating pace. Stevenson kicking deeper this time. Oh, that's a bad knock-on. You've just scored a try like that. You don't want to knock on your own line. But John Weston, well, you don't knock on deliberately. Cruella. Which put Wigan pressure back. Oh, this boy Eller again. He's got the pace. No try. Perfect positioning there for any budding referee to watch. Fred Lindop directed himself behind the line. He knew where the ball was going to go, and it was no try.
Well, it's that man Eller again. I don't think they call him the zip man, they call him the rubber man. He's just short here, as you can see, just 2 inches short.
Johnson to Cottrell. Back to Johnson. Oh, still going. Cogger. Every time we get a promising movement from Leigh, Alec, it's a lost ball.
But we're talking about doing basics, right, Ray? We can't win cup ties without doing the basics. And Trevor Cogger there had a prime example. Instead of holding the ball on the first tackle, he decides to put a silly pass and give Wigan possession.
Steve Eller to put to touch. No, it looks as if the ball's a little bit too soft, I think. Yes, referee Fred Lindop not very happy with the pressure of that ball. And a tap. A huge ooh from the crowd, but I don't think Brian Garing got anywhere near him. Ford and Eller at the first and second receiver, distributing this ball. Ford again, Eller again. These are the two, the workhorse and the flyer. Nicky Kiss. Ford. Dowling. The sixth tackle coming up now then. Will we see Chris Johnson, the Leigh fullback, being tested again? We've already had one try from a position like this. Oh, good catch. Oh, and beautiful play from Pike. Oh, that was a high tackle. Very high tackle. Referee Fred Lindop there. It's on the spot. Difficult decision. And it looks as though Mr. Colin Whitfield's going off.
Well, as you get the ball here, just watch now Colin Whitfield walking in. It is very high. I don't think it's intentional, but just look at it. It looks bad, and it is bad, and I think for that he's got his marching orders.
Yes, and Colin Whitfield going off the field. It looks to be a sending off offence. The referee certainly hasn't indicated any sin bin, and really the sin bin can only be used for technical offences now and dissent. So there's a shock to Wigan. It definitely was a high tackle. And Leigh now with only 12 men to face. And a good kick there from Johnson.
I get the feeling there that Leigh have realised that the Wigan forwards are not coming as strong as what they was in the first half, and they're now taking them on and saying, well, if we just get one more scorer, we're back in this game.
Oh, they're certainly trying to come back in the game. Good movement there, Chris Johnson. 10 minutes gone in this second half, but Wigan still got that 10-point lead, 18 points to 8. Oh, that was a magnificent pass from Derek Pike, a flop forward. Westhead crashing through there now, 3 yards from the Wigan line. To Johnson. Well, it was well intended by Derek Pike. He tried the dummy, but it hit a Wigan man. So Wigan now with only 12 men. Colin Whitfield sent from the field for that high tackle.
I think an interesting situation in all there is that on the Wigan substitute bench they have 2 forwards, and what's going to happen is if they bring any more substitutes, they've also had a wingman sent off. They've got 2 fellas on the bench here, which are 2 forwards, a hook and a second row, and this should make it very difficult if they're going to make substitutions.
Yes, it's a difficult position to be in, Alex. Wigan there now packing down with only 5 men, having moved the South African Nick Dutoit out to the right wing. He's possibly the one with the most pace. He has played centre for the Orange Free State. And that shows the liveliness of Leigh now. A little bit more fire there. A loose ball. In the first half it was Wigan who were taking those loose balls. Now it's Leigh. To Derek Pike. And I think, Alec, this is one man who's really making Leigh tick.
In my opinion, this lad could be the best number 10 in the rugby league. He's a tremendous pair of hands and he's leading his side tremendously well. I just hope now to see this fella, John Henderson, get a lot more running chances than what he's getting. Leigh have got to move the ball out wide, throw a caution to the wing and just keep attacking.
Oh, no. But it's still Leigh ball. Referee Lindop played advantage. Wigan didn't take it. And interesting to see Leigh moving the ball out to this wing where Duke Toit is out. But they've lost it again. Sinicky Kiss. Yes, a penalty. Tony Cottle and Henderson Gill exchanging words there, and I don't think it's about the weather. But doesn't he love the game, this lad? Well, it must have been a good joke. And he's still going at him. Well, they'll be getting a cup of tea, aren't they? Ella to Dutoit. A handful there for Phil Fox to tackle. Not really been too effective at the moment, Ellery, is he?
No, they're keeping a very, very good check on him there. But looking at this Wigan side now, they realise they've got to get another score because the longer Leigh keep having the ball, they've got a big problem with them.
Well, here's one. And Ellery Hanley. Any commentator opens his mouth about this man and he makes a fool of it. Tremendous opportunist there from Ellery Hanley. This is his danger. I said he was having a quiet game. I said he hadn't been doing too much. And suddenly he's there with his victory signal. And that's the try I think Wigan wanted. They were on the rack for a few minutes there. Leigh coming back with plenty of fire, plenty of spirit. And this man pushes Wigan out a little bit further. 22 points to 8. And certainly Wigan giving David Stevenson some easy kicks at goal. Already got 3 to his credit in this match. And this surely must be his fault. Yes, good goal. That keeps him out there. 74 goals this season. Top of the goal scoring charts. And 24 points to 8 for Wigan.
Well, Ray, as you say, having a very quiet game, but when it matters, he's always on hand, and this is why he's a world-class player. Lovely ball from Kiss here. The simplest of opportunities, he'll take them every day of the week. And this is it again. This is good play. A lovely ball off Nicky Kiss here. The golden man himself. He loves these. He'll relish these. And I think him and Henderson Gill will do the routine and ritual after this one.
John Kerr, number 14, in the centre of our screens there. Just come on the field whilst the try had been scored for Trevor Cogger. Well, Ian Potter looks a little mystified at that, but it was an obvious knock-on. Oh, that's a good scrum, but Johnson did very well to get that. To Kerr. Kerr again. Well, he's certainly got in the play very quickly, this substitute John Kerr, ex-Wallington player. Johnson, Pike. Looking for the little dummy there, but he's propped forward. Brian Gelling overran him. Oh, well done by Johnson. Little frantic passing there, Alec.
Yes, the difference is, Ray, when you score tries and score them under the points, it obviously knocks a lot of art out of you, but Leigh is still trying to do the same thing. They're trying to create gaps from impossible positions where they'd be better just driving the ball in and moving it from the second and third tackle.
Good heel to Wigan. Michael Ford sensibly playing the blind side, allowing his pack to reform, to get back into the position. Wigan are winning 24 points to 8. No need for hectic play. Wigan content to bring the ball away with the forwards, just crossing the halfway line. Oh, and a cheeky kick there from Henderson Gill. Sixth tackle coming up. Obviously got plenty of confidence in the fact that Wigan have only 5 forwards.
He also fancies himself as a bit of a football player. He does think he's, he's got a touch of the Pellies, but he is a good football player in his own right.
That's a good heel from Kiss. Good long balls. Oh, and Hampson came in the line right there. To Stevenson. Oh, this is good play. Powerful that with David Stevenson. When he comes off his right foot, he comes inside, takes some stopping. To Ella. To Hanley. I think one of the problems for Leigh is that Wigan have so many stars in their makeup, you just don't know where the point of attack's coming from. Good way. Back to Michael Ford. Just couldn't hold it, Des Drummond. And Greg Dowling. Nice touch there, helping Drummond.
I think if he had taken that ball, Ray, I think he might have took the smile off one or two of the faces, because one thing this fella can do, he can certainly bob along a bit.
"20 minutes to go in this semi-final, 24 points to 8 for Wigan, and a lot at stake, of course. A lot of prize money in this John Player Trophy this season, £11,000 to the eventual winners of the trophy. Back to Johnson. Looked like a knock-on, but referee Lindop judging that Nick Dutois knocked it sideways. Oh, and that was a good run. Andy Goodway. Dowling, nice pass. Michael Ford. John Wayne. You certainly don't get the feeling, Ali, that Wigan have only got 12 men, do you?
No, you don't, and you also get the feeling that they're now stepping up the game again, because for a period of 10-15 minutes they looked a little bit as if we say, well, we've won this game. I think they've now picked it up again.
Nick Nicky Kiss and another 6 tackles. The ball hits a Leigh man, so Wigan pressure, piling it on now, despite the fact that they're one short. Ella. Sean Wayne. I like the way that Wigan keep this ball available. Very rarely is a man tackled in possession. Stevenson. Desperate cover here from Leigh. Hanley. To Potter. Little bit of a misunderstanding. Nicky Kiss scrum half saying, settle it down, settle it down. Down. Under 6 tackling. Eller again, trying that kick. And the scrum down. No, it's not, it's a changeover. Wigan, yes, Wigan receives the ball, so it will be a handover, not the scrum.
I think we might find also here, Ray, that the touch is on for taking Eller off the ball. Under the sticks, as he put the high ball up the bum, one of the Leigh players definitely took him off the ball.
Yes, and referee Lindop having a word with Gelling. Obstruction, pulling him down. And it's Mayo, the Australian, looks to be coming on the field for Gelling. So again, another kick for Stevenson. Obviously a lot of mud clinging to his boots. But it doesn't stop him. Another 2 points to Stevenson. 26 points to 8 now. Wigan edging out. And something desperate needed from Leigh now, Alec.
Yes, I think what Leigh have got to do now is just to concentrate on keeping hold of the ball. They've lost it so many times that I think when they watch the videos or whatever they do with these games now, they'll be absolutely staggered. But they've got to start running with the ball and taking more people on.
Well, he is one man who loves to take people on, Nick Dutois.
Yes, and he's had a tremendous game, Ray. He's a big man and takes them pulling down every time he runs with the ball.
Forward. Dowling. Ella. Oh, good pass. And it's interesting to see that these are the 2 men, Ford or Ella, whenever the movement breaks down or whenever a pass is needed for somebody to latch onto, it's Ford and Ella who put the passes out. This little man, unheralded alongside Steve Ella from the Oldham St Anne's Amateur Club, but certainly developing into a fine partnership. Well, I think that was put up. I think Nicky Kiss almost came through the pattern of the ball. To Kerr. Clark. But Leigh certainly not stretching this Wigan defence. Remember, Wigan only got 12 men, and yet Leigh, Alex, still driving down the middle.
Yes, and when you come to think that people like John Henderson and Des Drummond and Phil Fox have only had a couple of passes all the game, it makes you wonder what Leigh tactics have been and what they should have been.
Cottrell. Oh, that's a good ball to Henderson. Now he's got a gap. But a a good tackle. Equally good tackle from Hanley and a good covering tackle in there from Hampson, but Leigh still on the attack. Using it wide now to Pike. Oh, so beautiful dummy. Tremendous ball skills, this number 10 for Leigh. Magnificent dummy and a backhand pass. But unfortunately, the turnover, the 6 tackles, so the ball to Wigan. Henderson Gill coming in again from the wing. Wigan now just using their forwards as a battering ram. Greg Dowling. Very steady, professional tactics here from Wigan, settling the whole thing down. The line was at risk, but steady it down. 3 or 4 tackles, then the long kick from Steve Aller. Oh, that was a risky pass. Leigh obviously under a lot of pressure, Alec. They've got to move the ball, haven't they?
Yes, I think they've got to take chances, and when they do, they look dangerous, like exactly now. As soon as they move the ball out, they look very, very dangerous indeed.
But certainly this lad is a danger, this Phil Fox.
Yes, they paid £2,000 for him from Widnes, probably the bargain buy of the season. He's got tremendous pace. I just can't understand when they've got fellas like this on the wing, they don't let the ball get out to them.
Well, he's proved himself every time he's had that ball. But another chance for Leigh now, 5 yards from the line. But Wigan in possession. Well, yes, the ball was yanked out of his hand. I think a little bit of frustration there from Phil Johnson. The referee, Lindop, must have called held. Nicky Kiss to take the tap.
I think Wigan, Ray, now that they've been reduced to 12 men, are probably having the more of the ball than they did when they had 13, because they're doing the basics a lot better. They seem to be playing the 6 tackles and supporting the men better than what they did when they had 13 on the field.
Well, it's quite true, Alec. They've already won the scrums by 10 to 5.
Yes, and this will tell you now that they realise they're lacking a man. All we've got to say, well, let's do the basics right, and everything else will follow.
And this is one lad who's done the basics right all afternoon. He's picked himself up 2 tries. This big, burly number 8 prop. Dowling. Eller again. But no, not a good kick. Not a good kick. But 10 minutes ago, Wigan in control. 26 points to 8. Already winners once of this John Player Trophy, looking to be in the final again. I think the players having a lot of difficulty underfoot there. It's a very heavy pitch. The ground staff were out this morning putting a lot of sand about. But that's a good heel. But that's a bad knock-up. And he knows it. Poor John Kirk. I don't think his forwards will be very happy with him. You push, you fight for that ball, and then when you get up, you're back in the scrum again. And it's Wigan ball. Oh, good dummy from Stevenson. Hanley. To forward, good long ball to Hampson. Eller. Wigan looking for another try. Dowling. Just couldn't get the ball away. I like the way that this man, the old-fashioned type of front row forward, pulls himself in the tackle, tries to get the ball round the tackler. You have to be very big. You have to be 15 or 16 stone to do that. To forward. And Leigh again. Good pick up from Hansen. Oh, and 2 good side steps. And a beautiful pass out. And he's in. Well, we won't see better rugby than that all season. And hooker Nicky Kiss latched onto that try at the end there. But it was a brilliant pick-up from fullback Steve Hansen and 2 tremendous side steps. And I'm sure that Wigan crowd are delighted now at that. Excellent combination play. 30 points to 8 for Wigan, and only 12 men on the field at the moment too. Nicky Kiss delighted with that, his first try of the season, and he backed up well for it.
And this is what you get by making the ball available. Ellery Hanley looks as though he's tackled, just throws it back, but look who's in support. Stevie Hampson, he's got to make play from here, flips round one man, flips round the other. A lovely ball kiss. Hooker, number 9, number 5 tries. Over you go.
And Stevenson's most difficult kick of the afternoon. Right out on that far touch line. But it'll be good practice for him. Stevenson taking his time. It looks as though Nicky Kiss going to be substituted by young Martin Dermott. Stevenson takes the kick, no points. But Dermott there just lumbering up this youngster, only 18 years of age. We saw him make his debut in the John Player last week against Warrington. A fine game, this product of the local Wigan schools. And I think the coaches, Alan McInnes and Colin Clark, just giving the lad a run out for experience.
Yes, and also it's nice to give a kid a game in a situation like this. It's a big occasion, and he'll probably just relish it.
Ian Potter. And young Dermott getting straight into the game. Vital forward receiving solid tackler from the Leigh skipper Derek Fife. Forward. Des Drummond not had many chances this afternoon, not had a chance to show his paces. To Mayo, good pass again from Fife. 5 minutes to go now in this semi-final. Wigan comfortably in the driving seat, 30 points to 8. And in possession again. Could certainly played better this second half with 12 men on it.
Well, you do have a tendency to do that way. There tends to be more gaps on the field and more spaces, and people tend to move the ball about a lot quicker. But give Wigan the credit. They've moved the ball exceptionally well. They've done it right when it matters, and that's what rugby's all about.
It's again. Flicked off John Kerr there. To Hampson. Hanley. Still manages to get the ball, and just look who's there, that little lad forward to Potter. This is good rugby. But it's always these two Wigan half-backs who keep the movement going. Here's the other one, Ella. Beautiful pass to Godway. And this Leigh defence having a torrid time. Wayne. Utra. Strength. Just doesn't take him over. But it took 3 Leigh tacklers to stop him. The 6th tackler. To Dowling, looking for the hat-trick, and he's got it. Referee Fred Lindoff again, taking up the perfect position behind the line. The Wigan fans look contented. And a hat-trick of tries there for the Australian test prop forward Greg Dowling. And I think he'll remember that for a long time, as will those Wigan spectators. Sheer strength there from Dowling.
Well, this is a good quick hands again, and as you see, Stevie Eller as he plays the ball, a lovely ball to the big man Dowling. He is a big man, he clashes two men off as though they're not there, and sheer weight takes him over.
David Stevenson, another difficult kick this one, but very comfortably now. 34 points to 8 for Wigan. It looks a good one, and it is a good one. So 2 minutes to go then. The grin on David Stevenson's face, I think. It tells it all. 36 points to 8 now as Graham West, the tall New Zealand second row, comes on for Wigan, and Ian Potter goes out. And we talk about this Wigan side being a side of glamour players and stars and accumulating the records, and already they've just accumulated another one. The widest margin we've ever had in a John Player semi-final with Leeds and St Helens, 19 points to 0, and Wigan have just beaten that. Minutes ago, Alec, and Leigh really have failed to take opportunity of Whitfield sending off, haven't they?
Oh yes, they've not produced anything like the form. Maybe the occasion, Ray, has had something to do with it, but take nothing away from Wigan. It's been a magnificent performance. They've run with the ball, they've supported the man, and they've done it where it matters, and that's over the line.
Young Dermot. Steve Eller, all blistering pace to Ford. I think he passes a little bit too early. Well recovered there from Bob Hanson, the number 4 centre. Good determined running there. To Drummond. All credit to Leigh. They're keeping the ball moving. They're still providing us with an entertaining game. Johnson chasing after that kick. The 40 minutes are up with an injury time now. To Stevenson. There it is. Tremendous performance for Wigan. Despite those 12 men, and all credit to Wigan then. They have to wait to see who they play. They have to play the winners of the second semi-final on Grand Stand next Saturday between St Helens and Hull KR. But 36 points to 8, Wigan are in the final.